It's not what you know, it's who you know that determines where you'll go. And you know this to be true. There's a story about Albert Einstein that Billy Graham told almost 15 years ago. Mr. Graham tells us that Einstein was once traveling from Princeton on a train when the conductor came down the aisle punching the tickets of every single passenger. When he came to Einstein, Einstein reached into his vest pocket, but he couldn't find his ticket. So he reached into his pants pocket. It wasn't there. He looked into his briefcase, looked into the seat next to him, and still couldn't find it. The conductor said, "Dr. Einstein, I know who you are. We all know who you are. I'm sure you bought a ticket. Don't worry about it." So Einstein nodded appreciatively, and the conductor continued down the aisle punching tickets. As he was ready to move to the next car, he turned around and he saw the great physicist down on his hands and knees looking under his seat for his ticket. The conductor rushed back and said, Dr. Einstein, don't worry. I know who you are. No problem. You don't need a ticket. I'm sure that you brought one." Einstein looked at him and said, "Young man, I too know who I am. What I don't know is where I'm going." After Billy Graham finished telling the story, he said that the suit he was wearing would be the one he wore when he was buried. "But," he said, "when you've heard that I've died, I don't want you to remember the suit. I want you to remember one thing. I not only know who I am, I also know where I'm going." There was a similar conversation between Jesus and his disciples shortly before Jesus died. He was preparing them for his death, and he told them, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God, trust also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms, and if it were not so, I would have told you. I'm going there to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, so that you also may be where I am. You know the way to the place where I'm going." Thomas said to him, "Lord, we don't know where you're going, so how can we know the way?" And here's what Jesus says, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really knew me, you would know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him." This new year, as you're setting new goals, new directions, making plans, dreaming big dreams, all things you should be doing, by the way. But as you're doing all these things, remember, it's never going to be how much or what you know. It's always going to be who you know that determines where you go.